Hey there, Joe DeSanto here. In this video, I'm going to talk a little bit about what you might do if you have a mortgage payment that's really straining your finances. What's the best way to deal with that, or what are some things to think about around that issue? Well, obviously, if your mortgage payment is making it difficult ultimately for all your ends to meet, the initial idea would be, can we lower the mortgage payment? And obviously, the only way to do that is to refinance the mortgage, but you have to be refinancing the mortgage into a lower interest rate. And as of today, November 2024, we are a couple years into extreme interest rate hikes. So if you own the house, from 2+ years ago, 2 to 10 years ago, you're very likely going to have a lower interest rate than you can get today. Um, but if that's not the case, and you can get at a lower rate, I would say at least a point to a point and a half lower than your current rate. It's worth probably refinancing. One thing to consider with refinancing, part of what makes the payment lower is the fact that you might be spreading your payment length out for more years from where you're today. Meaning, if you bought the house 10 years ago on a 30-year loan, you're 10 years into your loan. If you go refinance today, hopefully get a lower rate, but you're also going to be making a new loan that's 30 years. So now collectively, you've pushed your total mortgage payment period into 40 years. So that's the additional reason beyond the lower interest rate that your payment would get lower. So it is something to consider, um, like, how much more interest you're going to be paying on the new loan in total, even though the payment is lower. Sometimes it's worth doing that calculation. But if you're in a financial pinch and you just need the payment lower, well, that's an obvious way to go. The other thing I always suggest this because it's so important in making good informed decisions about changes you can make to your finances, is to know truly what your financial picture is. And by that I mean what you make, what you spend, what you spend it on, and that you are making more than you are spending. The only way to really practically have a good handle on this is to track your finances as some sort of computer system. I use Quicken, but there are plenty out there. And know specifically, when you're sitting down to address this issue, where in all the list of expenses your house fits. Is it 30% of your monthly payment, or 40, or whatever? And what else am I spending money on, and where can I economize elsewhere to make this mortgage payment doable? Now, I really believe that owning a house is extremely valuable, not just from an investment point of view. I mean, it's always proven very successful for me owning my own houses, but also from just a life stability point of view. You can't get kicked out of your house. The cost of your house will not go up as fast as the cost of your rent. It will go up because your taxes will go up and your insurance will go up. But the mortgage payment, hopefully, it's a fixed mortgage payment. So I think in the long run, both from a good investment for your capital, i.e. your down payment, and ongoing monthly expense issue, owning the house is a good thing. So I would try to figure out how to stay in it if you can. I think that if you're putting money towards some other type of savings, like a brokerage or whatever, you might consider reducing that and putting that into the mortgage payment so you can make it work. And the reason I'm okay with that is because a mortgage, or a house and a mortgage, is like a forced savings account. Every month you're paying out interest, taxes, insurance. Those are all the outgoing expense, but that part that is the principal pay down, that is essentially money you're putting into a savings account. That is the equity of your house. And usually houses grow at a pretty decent rate relative to the markets in general, and an owned home has such great tax breaks. When you add it all up, it's a very good investment. It's a good vehicle to have your equity savings in from a growth point of view. usually. So it's not a bad thing to say, hey, I'm not going to put as much money in stocks. I'm just going to, manage to make my mortgage payment and know that my equity is growing and that I'm going to get return on that equity with the appreciation of the house. And the longer you're in the loan, the more money that is going to equity, right, every month. So I would consider that. Obviously, the other thing is if you do something like Quicken, you know what you're spending money on, you can go in and try to cut discretionary. And unfortunately, discretionary is all the fun things, going out to dinner and traveling and that kind of stuff. But going out to dinner one less time a week, maybe taking one less trip this year until you get some more reserves built up. You can actually put a number on what making those kinds of lifestyle changes will mean and how that can help you get that mortgage payment wrangled without as much stress. So there you go. Those are some tips. I guess I'll also say I'm always against storage, and I talk about storage facilities in a lot of videos. If you have a storage facility and you're the kind of person that piles extra things in there, and then you only go there once a year, if that, but it costs you $400 a month, do yourself a favor, lighten the load. Get rid of the storage unit, sell whatever you can sell in there to raise some cash, give the rest away, cleanse yourself of the extra stuff, and then take whatever you're paying for that storage unit, put that towards your mortgage. So there you go. Talk to you in the next video. Bye.